Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
What is going on, everybody? I go by RB. Welcome back to Philly Take with RB. You know what to do. Go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe if you're new, and ding the notification bell so you're instantly notified whenever I upload or go live. Today, we're back the day after the Sixers beat the Celtics in the first matchup out of two by a final score of 117-109. The Sixers retake possession of the East, at least for today, so we will see what happens. A lot to talk about in this game, but the main guy we are going to focus on, and hey, I wish we were at the Wells Fargo so we could hear the chants raining down. MVP. MVP. Yeah, that's right. MVP'd. Joel Embiid is the clear-cut MVP of the NBA right now simply because he is the most valuable player. The MVP isn't always who has the best stats, who's on the best team, who has the best record. Joel Embiid and this team without Joel Embiid is two distinct things. Joel Embiid has been the most valuable player to his team in the league, and in my opinion, it is not even close right now. The way this guy is playing is absolutely insane. We're going to talk about him a little later on. I want to get to some other things before that, so be sure to stay tuned. First and foremost, we got to get to something else, though. A great win over the Celtics for sure, but otherwise in the NBA, there was something going on last night. A lot of people were telling me about it, and man, all I can do is sit back and laugh, because a couple days ago on Twitter, I put out something that said, after the Brooklyn Nets win their first two games, now we're automatically going to crown these guys champs. They win their first two games with James Harden, and we are already putting the crown on those boys. Don't think too fast. Look, I said it yesterday. I said it again today. I'm just going to sit back and laugh. Come on, man. Hold on. We got to talk about this guy real quick. We got to talk about it. You guys see this, man? You see him behind me? Look, I respect what Kyrie is doing right now. I respect Kyrie, the person, and his own personal thoughts and feelings. I always got to respect everybody and the way they feel, man. I'm talking from a strict basketball standpoint. Kyrie is a generational talent. He's very skilled, but I'm telling you, the dude is a team cancer. The Brooklyn Nets lost last night, the first game under the trio of Kyrie, Harden, and KD. Kyrie comes back from being AWOL. Nobody knew where the guy was at a birthday party. And he comes back, takes a bunch of shots, scores a lot of points, but the team loses in overtime, and they give up the most points to one of the worst, I think the worst offensive team in the league. I think it was like 143 points to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Look, I'm trying to tell you guys, just give it some time. The Nets are going to be a great regular season team. They're going to go a couple rounds at least in the playoffs. But I just don't know if what they gave up is worth it unless they win a chip. And I don't know if they can win a chip. But look, all my people who know where I'm coming from, they were all spamming me after the first two games. Oh, they're DMing me. Oh my God, the Nets are the greatest team of all time. I told you, just let it play out. Let it go through its process. You will see. And like I said yesterday, if the Nets trade Kyrie and they get a potential other starter, maybe not the biggest star, maybe a third kind of guy to fit the mold, or they get a couple key bench pieces, well then I will be scared of the Brooklyn Nets. But with this guy right here, look at him. He looks like he looks like the guy in class who dreads going to school every day. The guy that just doesn't want to be there, sits in the back of the class, and just while he's listening to the teacher, he just wants to go home. That is when you look at this guy, right, this is a press conference, your first day back after being in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knew where he was at. Even his coaches could barely talk to him. And that's how, look at him. This guy doesn't want to play basketball. He doesn't want to be there. And respect to him, but man, I don't know how this Brooklyn Nets team is going to fare. That's all I got to say about that. You guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. The next guy I want to talk about is Tobias Harris. Now, Tobias Harris. Yesterday in the game, Tobias and Joe got off to a really hot start. I think Tobias had 9 points in the first couple minutes. Then Brad Stevens, being a normal coach who knows how to go throughout a game and make adjustments, makes an adjustment. He switched Jaylen Brown onto Tobias, and Toby went absolutely quiet for the second quarter. We didn't even score in the last 6 minutes of that quarter, which is inexcusable, by the way. Toby was barely even seen throughout the third quarter, came back in the fourth, made a couple clutch buckets. But overall, Tobias Harris had 22 points yesterday, 9 for 17 from the field. And, I've seen enough of a product now. I just got to say it, man. I think this is who Tobias Harris is, and I think it's who we're going to see all year long. Like, there's no more trial and error period. Doc has gotten the best out of Tobias Harris, and this is Tobias. And really, well, if you have two elite scorers on your team, I think if Tobias gives you 20 to 22 a night, I think that could be the third piece on a championship team. Now, that's just my personal opinion. You guys let me know down below what you think. He's improved on the defensive side as well, but I'm really impressed with the consistency of Tobias Harris, the quick decision-making, just continuing to attack. Now, obviously, when Jaylen Brown was put on him, that is a cause of concern, because Tobias isn't the fastest guy. He can't get around these athletic defenders. And when that happens, if it happens in a playoff game, then what do you do? But when Tobias has a favorable matchup, he just keeps taking advantage of it. And I love what I'm seeing from Tobias. And I think he deserves some love. I think he does. And I continue to expect him to play this way under Doc Rivers this season. Shout out to Tobias Harris. Now, on a side note to that, and this will pertain to Embiid as well when we get back to him, Doc Rivers. Now, there are some things I'm not liking from Doc. Our pick and roll defense still looks the same as it did under the clown. But let me get one thing straight, because I've gotten a lot of messages about this, and I'm surprised. But people are telling me that Brett Brown, they're telling me that because of how Ben's playing on the offensive side and because of our pick and roll defense, those two things, they're telling me that Brett wasn't as bad as we thought he was. Can we just stop? What else do I have to say other than Joel Embiid is playing like an MVP? Every other guy on the offense, except for one, has improved drastically on offense. We're doing a lot of the fundamental things that you need to do on a basketball team. Swift passes, finding our spot, spacing. I know that's part of the roster as well and players' development. But let's not act like Doc Rivers has done nothing for this team and Brett Clown just got inexcusably just thrown out of the door. I mean, come on, man. We are doing the simple things good, and it gets thrown into the mix because of other things that we tend to focus on. But let's not take away the credit from what Doc is doing with this team, man. This team just looks like a more fundamental team being led by two stars, or at least one right now in their mid-20s. So come on, man. Don't give me that. Anyway. On to the next thing, Ben Simmons. And I know a lot of the fanboys came at me yesterday. Look, again, I'm a Ben guy. I don't know how many times I got to say that. Ben Simmons, I will say, had, I think, 2 or 3 very clutch plays down the stretch of this game. There was a steal on Tice. There was another steal and a breakaway dunk off of a Euro. Great defense by Ben. I will never deny the guy's defense. He's a great defender. He's locked in. Now, early on in the game, he was getting cooked a little bit, but it wasn't really his fault. Again, it's more of this pick and roll scheme I keep seeing, and I don't know why Doc hasn't fixed it yet, where our centers either don't come up, our guys go over the screen, and then it seems like every game we get hawked by an opposing ball guard, a dominant ball guard, who just pulls up from mid-range every time from the elbow. Easy shots, and I don't know why that hasn't been corrected. That's a scheme issue, and that's something that I want to see worked on. But overall, Ben came up clutch down the stretch on defense. And he did what he had to. The classic Ben game, what did he have? 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. The classic Ben game, 2 steals. Now, he did get in foul trouble. He had to sit out a lot of the fourth quarter. But on offense, I still have to keep it real, man. It is hurting me. It is hurting. I want to see Ben be great. I want to see this team be great. But it just doesn't seem like he has the finishing. It doesn't even seem like he has the flow when he's driving to the rim anymore. And he's still passing out. In the first half of this game when we were down, obviously this team didn't even have Jason Tatum. So they're well coached, but they did keep it close for most of this game, or all of this game. And we still need more production from Ben on the offensive side of the ball. We need Tobias to not disappear in the second and third quarter. And we also need Ben to take advantage of matchups, man. I saw one play, he had Jeff Teague near the free throw line, and he just passed it out. Ben, and he missed some layups early on. I think he started like 0 for 4 from this game. Took 5 shots total. I will commend Ben, though, for there was one point like late in the third, I think, where he really picked it up, was being aggressive, but evidently he got 2 offensive fouls for that. He did go to the line 10 times and hit 7, so I'll give him credit for that. 70% is an improvement for Ben at the line, but I still need more on offense, man. With the way Joel Embiid's playing, we're going to get to him in 1 second. We need another score because, look, that's all I got to say about Ben. I need more on offense, and I will never doubt his defense. He made clutch plays to help us win this game. But I'm still looking in the long term. When we get to the playoffs, what are we going to do? Anyway, moving on to the next guy. I don't want to exclude anyone. Shake Milton, I'll just say this about him. I think over the last 4 games, he's averaging 23 points off the bench. Dude has become our Lou Will. There's no doubt about it. We predicted it before the season, and I think we're just seeing it just flourish and come to life. It has just been incredible, man. I trust Shake taking the big shots. I trust him coming in off the bench and providing an immediate spark. 16 points yesterday. Dude's just been unreal. Shout out to Shake Milton. And there's a couple other guys I don't want to leave out, like Danny Green. It seemed like he won that jump ball. He got a couple clutch rebounds when the Celtics didn't go for it. Danny, he hit his 4 threes, and that's all we need him to do. That's all we need him. And when we get Seth Curry back, I'm going to be really excited for this team. But shout out to the role players. Maxey had a bad night, but just a first bad night for Maxey. I'm not going to sweat on it too much. Furkan Korkmaz had a reverse dunk that left me absolutely just befuddled and jaw dropped. Like, I didn't know Furkan could do that, but we'll see what happens and how these guys get minutes. And the last guy we got to talk about is Joel Embiid. And the main thing about this video, my God, dude, Joel Embiid, like I said earlier, MVP. Don't even try to give me another argument. I'm not being biased here. Joel Embiid has been the most valuable to his team. The workload we are giving this guy is unreal. Put up 42 last night against the Boston Celtics. It always feels good to beat Boston and to see Joel just happy and to just see him playing this way. And again, especially against a team like Boston, just really makes me happy. 42 points, 12 for 19 from the field, 17 for 21 from the line. They can go back and forth about these foul calls. At the end of the day, the rest were bad. Again, on both sides. Maybe favored us more tonight, but it happens. It happens to us a lot on the opposite end. And screw Marcus Smart. You're a flopper. You're known for flopping. So shut up. Now, Joel Embiid. The main question that we have to discuss is, can Joel Embiid keep up this MVP type of workload all season? You guys let me know what you think down below. I think it's going to come down to 2 factors. Number 1, his own health and conditioning. And so far, I've seen Embiid late in games still taking over. Not the normal get tired, sluggish, just huffing and puffing down the court. Nah, it's not that Embiid anymore. We heard how he got his own personal chef. We heard how Embiid's been taking care of his body, working out a bunch throughout the week in the offseason for the shortened offseason. And I think Embiid's mentality and Doc Rivers' system that highlights Embiid, gets him the ball quick in the shot clock, couple dribbles, bang, put it down. And Joel Embiid, he's getting smarter as a player. His little swing through, his ability to jab step, make a defender step back a little bit. I mean, poor Tristan Thompson. You could have put Tristan Thompson, the Kardashians, Daniel Tice, and a cinder block, and you still wouldn't have stopped this guy. I mean, he was that dominant. He's making his shots from mid-range, even beyond the free throw line, even from outside. I almost expect it to go in. It's absolutely insane. Joel Embiid is playing at a level that we've known the potential, but it seems like he's at the peak. And if he can get if he keeps going up, he's 26. We don't know how long his body is going to bear the brunt of the workload, but that's really the main question. I think number 1 is his own health and conditioning is what it depends on. And what I've seen so far makes me believe that he's going to be all right. As long as we continue to give him the help and we need more scoring, and I don't know, can we give this guy 50 possessions, and give him every possession down the stretch? I don't know. A lot of people say they don't know if a center can be your main piece on a championship team. But what I would say back to those people is, I don't know. Have you ever had a Joel Embiid? This guy, I know nowadays the center's kind of thrown out the window, but Joel Embiid continues to redefine the center position. He's been absolutely crazy. The other thing is how teams are going to play this guy now. Because in my opinion, if you looked close at this game yesterday, there were a lot of occasions where they threw doubles at Joel Embiid. You know, Brad Stevens with that traditional delayed double team. As soon as Joe turns his back, they bring it. But now Doc has taught Joe to be such a smart player, and the right pieces are there. He doesn't hesitate. He hits the outlet passes. And even yesterday, he knew his matchup. He knew his matchup, and he just kept fighting through the contact, finishing through 2 and 3. But there were actually some crucial situations, some crunch time plays where Joel Embiid did not receive a double team. And you know why? Because Brad Stevens knows we can't just rely on that anymore. It's not Al Horford shooting a corner 3. This time you got Danny Green, you got Shake Milton, you got Maxey, Seth Curry's coming back. You got guys that Joel can rely on. And like Doc said early in the season, the other coaches got to make this decision every night. Are they going to double Embiid the entire game, every possession, or are they not? It's a hard decision to make. And that's why I think as we go on, I don't know if Joel Embiid is going to continue to receive this amount of double teams as long as our shooters start knocking down. Now, in the playoffs, the half court, everything, the game's going to tighten up. They're going to throw a lot at Embiid. But I don't really see a guy in the Eastern Conference, maybe the NBA, that can really put a halt on Joel Embiid. It's like he's at that point where when you think of playing stars, it's like he's going to get his. At this point, I'm like, Joel's going to get his. He's going to get 25, 30 a night. And what can you do? You have to close out on the other players, which is why I'm thinking we might need to acquire someone else, because with the way Embiid is playing, I don't see him stopping. I think this MVP type of workload and this mentality and everything can carry throughout the season, and I pray that he stays healthy. But right now, he just looks like he's in the best shape of his life. He's happy. He's just motivated. And my God, has it been beautiful to watch Joel Embiid play basketball. He has been our dominant star. He has taken it by the reins late in the game. It doesn't matter when. Joel Embiid is going to get his shot. Those are the two things that I really think it comes down to. But a lot of coaches are going to have to make these decisions. And again, some nights we won't be making any shots from 3. We'll have an off night and we'll lose. But some nights, and most nights, I see Embiid carrying his team to a win. I really do. Coaches are going to have to come up with something else now to defend Joel Embiid. He is that good. And when he gets to the line at the successive rate that he is doing so and knocks down 17 out of 21 free throws, it's like, this guy is a nightmare to plan for. What do you do? What do you do? I'm just so dang impressed with Joel Embiid, and I can't wait to see how it develops throughout the season. If this is the best version of Embiid, well, we got to appreciate it, because in the next 2 to 3 years, we can win a championship, and what better way would it be than to watch Joel Embiid strolling down a parade, all of us out there excited, celebrating. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm just imagining that day and Joel screaming, process. They ate the process. My God. He's on another level right now. That's really all I can say. Good win over the Celtics. I'm glad, like I said, these kind of games are what makes you a winning team, when you win the tight situations, and I want to see more of them as we go on. But with that being said, we got the Celtics again tomorrow night. I'm hoping we can beat these boys 2 games in a row. Man, that would make a statement. Be sure to keep showing love, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace.
Perfect.